Hello world, my name is Tim Ruswick.
And my name's not Tim Ruswick.
And we're going to do a game design deep dive with Rick Davidson
Yes.
on a game called Downwell. You guys ready? So,
Excited.
I've never
Let's
played
look
this
at
game
what
before.
Let's look at what makes it work, why it's awesome, why it's great. First of all, I like the color of it. It's a little bit Undertale, isn't it? A little bit of that very... What would this? 8-bit, 16-bit, 32? How many bits is this art style?
It's got three colors that I can count. Black.
Does
if
that
you
make
count
it
black a color?
2-bit? If it's black and white, how many... And red.
I like it though. It's very... The black and white looks really, really cool. And the red, I think, puts the focus on the right elements, right?
It's
like,
different, so
yeah.
different. Looks a bit fresh.
So I think I'm in bed under a tree. I've got a controller here that I'm going to be using.
Cool little character. Oh, that's nice. Yep.
Okay, so I jump with the A button, and then I press the A button again, and I shoot, and that feels awesome.
This is one of the cool things you can do if you do a monochromatic game. It looks amazing, but it's just, here's a circle, and here's some little white things going splodge, splodge. So straight away, the game design of it, we often look at art and aesthetics. I think that's part of the game design, but it's simple. Keep your game simple. It doesn't have to be complex. You don't have to make it photorealistic.
And there's a title screen. And I love... I'm having fun with this. I'll just say this sounds this feels really, really solid so far too.
Yeah. Good controls. Controls is nearly always the first thing I think you need to get right in the game. Movement and controls. Just the playing and jumping needs to feel good. And part of the reason we wanted... Sorry, Tim. I was going to say, part of the reason we wanted to look at this game is it's pretty simple. You're going down. Yeah. There's a lot of games where you just go up, or you just go right, or you just go left, and it often seems difficult to innovate within that genre, but this feels fresh and different, and although it is just a core mechanic of just go down, let's look to see why it's awesome.
Well, I think as game developers, our default response is to add complexity. Like, you want to make a game, you got to add something cool to it, right? You want to make a good platformer, you got to take the platformer formula and add something to it, but in reality, that's not necessarily true. Like, you don't really have to add. You can take away. And I think that's what this game does, is it takes away everything that's not important. You got running and jumping is the same button as shooting, right? So it's like, you jump and shoot at the same time.
How do you do that? Like, you just...
That's the jump button.
It's just literally... because in a way, jumping is you're shooting and it's propelling you upwards.
Right. Yeah. So I can jump, but then if I press the jump button again while I'm in the air, it starts shooting, and the longer I hold it, the longer it shoots. And then I reload when I land, I think. Yeah, so I don't reload until I land.
Oh, that's cool. A lag today. I'm talking over the top of you each time. Sorry about that. Sorry for anyone. Why is Rick so rude talking over the top of him? Because Rick is a rude a-hole, that's why. But I wanted to say, we have to acknowledge the fact that he's shooting laser beams out of his butt, and that in of itself is cool. That's something that I can see people giggling. They're like, got a laser butt.
I thought they were his boots, but I'm gonna go with butt because that's just, I think that's better.
When have you ever seen someone shoot lasers out of their boots? How realistic is that?
That's what I thought, but this is so much more interesting when they're ass bullets. We're gonna go with that.
Yeah. So far, what's making it work? What's deep diving into the game design of this? You're flowing downwards. You've got one button to jump and to shoot. So it could be a mobile game. It's as simple as that. It's the whole one button mechanic with the left-right movement.
I think it started as a mobile game. I think it did. But what I love about it, and this is what I love about a lot of indie games, is the pick up and play. Like, it's not complex to where I have to learn anything. And like I said, it's about adding stuff. It's taken away everything that you don't need. Like the reload mechanic when you land and the shoot mechanic when you jump, it's combined those things with the movement system to just simplify this whole process.
I'm going to look up what it was made in, what engine. You didn't see any sort of splash screen, did you?
I did not. Well, there's one for the developers, but I really like this. And then you just get as farther as you can. Like, it's got a lot of polish too. Like it's like low res style, but I don't think people should confuse low res with like low aesthetic quality, because it's got a lot of polish. It feels fantastic to move around and jump and to shoot. And it's actually, as I'm playing this, I didn't think at first it had a lot of strategy to it, but now it's like really making me think about where the enemies are and where the platforms are because I need to land to reload. So it's actually taking my full attention.
Tell me about the land to reload mechanic. How's that work?
I like a little progress bar too. It makes me feel like I'm getting somewhere. Whereas if it was just restarting every time, I would just feel like, okay.
So you start from level 1-1 and you're getting progress, and after you go through that a few times, you go to 1-2, or you.
Let's try and get that far.
Let's see. Yeah, what's going on here? I like that it's not super. Oh, okay. I see your butt bullets going down, dong 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 down. And then as soon as you touch the ground, it recharges?
Yeah, so...
That is so cool.
So I can't... And it'll make a sound that, like, won't let me shoot if I...
Otherwise, you could just sort of hover permanently.
Yeah.
Just shooting and destroy everything.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is it gives me a little bit of vertical momentum, so I can kind of use it as a double jump if I need to. In the... Like, right here. Like, I can kind of, like... Well... So we've
talked a lot about, well, I talk a lot about one innovation, one mechanic where you say, I'm going to do something new, fresh, interesting that other games haven't had. The rest I'll just do the same as other things. Talking about indie games here, that's, I think, a great way to do it. This is clearly the one innovation mechanic where it's fun to jump and fun to shoot out your butt. But if the player's just allowed to do that all the time, then it gets a little bit dull. So how can we have a limited resource? You could pick up little bullets as you go. Like a lot of games do that. You collect the coin or the bullet or whatever, that recharges. I think a lot of the jump up games get a bit repetitive when all you're doing is you're trying to just get more coins and more coins and more coins. And now I've got 50, 200 coins. I don't really care. But this is the mechanic where you care about the fact that it's decreasing because it's bullets. It's very important.
Right.
You're not collecting a thing. It's the landing. So you're forcing someone, you have to land and you have to put yourself in danger. So there's a really nice play between what makes you strong and what makes you vulnerable. And in your game that you guys are making at home, if you can say, let's give the strong thing, but force them to do the vulnerable thing to recharge the strong thing, that's a really nice loop, a really nice cycle. Then people care about those different things.
100%. Another thing that it does too is it gives you a reason to not shoot, which I think a lot of games get wrong. Like there's a lot of games where there's no reason to ever let go of the shoot button ever. And some people throw in reload just because it's in every game ever, and that's maybe a reason to not let go. But this game, there's a strategy to how many bullets I have. And Rick, I just noticed that I get upgrades now after I beat the first level.
Everyone knows we love upgrades.
Gain
if you watched
HP,
our gunpoint video, you know we love upgrades.
Lift off. Blocks will shoot out bullets when destroyed.
Okay, that's... so good. So then the core mechanic, I talk about onion design. What's in the middle of your game design onion, right in the core of it? And here it's jumping and shooting. That's right at the core of it. So you say, how do we extend upon that, make it a more joyful experience, give the player a reason to keep playing, is let's add on to jumping and shooting. So which one did you choose?
The rocket jump. I thought it would give me more momentum, but it seems to just be an explosion every time I jump.
Okay. Oh, okay. An area effect. Oh, yep, got it.
Oh no, I don't want to die. I'm legit into this game now. I don't.
Yeah. You know what's smart as well, because it's a very vertical game, and there's only a small amount of screen real estate. People are going to be playing this on a wide screen if they're playing on a computer. But there's a key piece of information here, which is your bullets. So allow that to take up a huge chunk of your screen real estate. It's super important and it's super big. I think I spent a lot of my time watching that. I don't know if you're looking at that as you go, Tim, but that seems a really important.
Well, it's a really good point because this thing is huge. This bar is huge. And like at first glance, you might say, why the hell is the bullet bar that huge? But there's so much going on screen and it's happening so fast. That bar is the perfect size for my peripheral vision. Yeah. I'm never actually glancing at it, but I'm just glancing at how full it is, like kind of like a percentage basis, and I can kind of tell when I need to reload and when I don't. I'm never actually looking directly at it personally, but when it gets perfect size.
Yeah. When it gets down to nearly zero. See, the temptation here as well would be to say, let's have a different color. When it gets down to maybe you've got 2 left or 1 left, let's do it as orange or yellow so that someone can glance and see green, 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 red, right. Orange. But first of all, the game's aesthetic doesn't allow you to do that. We've got white, black, and red, which I think is really cool, very smart. And you don't need it because it's all about the emptiness. So when you see no white, that's what you really need to know, isn't it? It's a percentage of white. You don't. I think it would be a bit noisy. You could try it, add a green in there, but that would break the overall game design decision of the 3 colors.
I think a number would break it as well. I mean, there's a number on the bottom, but like a number only instead of a bar.
Yeah.
That would not work at all for like an ammo count in this game, because like I said, I'm never actually glancing directly at it. I'm just kind of knowing like, okay, soon. Wait, what is this?
Oh, a big pile of, kind of looks like a dog
gems.
laid a pile of gems. That's very Mario side room-esque, isn't it? Love it.
That's cool. I like
wow.
that. I gotta say, the upgrades are a fantastic addition to this game because, like, oh, did you see on the corner? Do you see that? I kind of tip off.
Yeah,
That's little details like that are awesome.
Little Easter eggs, yeah.
That's
that takes time to do. Like, there's a scope. You have to choose your battles with those, or else you just spend a million years trying to finish your game. But 1 or 2 of those little surprise Easter eggs, you saw my reaction and Tim's reaction for that was like, oh, that's kind of cool. People need a bit of discovery.
Oh, I'm right there. I'm just going for it.
Oh,
forget it.
Yeah, forget about it. 1-1 cleared. Now what happens? Choose your upgrade. Yep.
I'm a drone.
And he's doing
shops that start 10% discount or rocket jump. I'm gonna take the drone.
Beep boop. You've got to do beep boop. That's cool.
I don't know what this is gonna be. I kind of like that I don't know it.
There you go.
Oh, it shoots when I okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
This is like old school, just like a shmup, a shoot 'em up game. Like you're playing 1942 style. You're flying along. Yeah, it's
I think that's what this game does great. Is it feels so familiar, but it feels so fresh at the same time.
Yeah. This is a cool mixture of genres. This is one of my favorite ways to come up with new game design ideas. Take 2 particular styles of games or genres or whatever and join them together. For example, people like playing FIFA and football. People like driving cars. Let's join them together and make Rocket League. That's amazing. Just that one simple joining makes an incredible experience. And here, people like to play, you're flying along, you're picking up pickups, you're getting more, Ikaruga. I don't know if you played Ikaruga or 1942. I'm trying to dig into my brain to remember examples. There's a million of them. People out there, let us know in the comments other good shoot 'em up games if you've played them. But it's top down, flying upwards shooter, or flying sideways shooter as well. But here it's let's do the falling mechanic, the falling, dropping, jumping mechanic, but then add all of those really cool the power-ups and the bullet, additional bullets and a little bit of the bullet hell kind of mechanic to this game. So it's, in a way, it's joining those 2 genres together. I like it.
Yeah, there's 2 things that I want to point out too. Let me go ahead and see if I can. It might be harder to die than I think it will be. I gotta constantly jump into enemies.
You can do it.
I can jump on top. I can land on them.
Oh,
wait a second.
So Mario-esque and little turtles. Oh, okay, that's a very.
And that recharges my ammo too. Oh, okay. This game just got much more interesting now. I was wondering why it was taking me so long to die when I was running in all these enemies. It's because I was falling on top of them.
Maybe all this time you should have just been falling down and not trying to actually play the game.
The game's called Downwell. Maybe I should stop trying to not go down. Yeah. That might work. I made it much farther when I was just trying to go down. But this is so the upgrade system in between levels. I want to point out that it doesn't necessarily do stat increases. Stat increases I see all the time in indie developers, and they're cool. Stat increases are cool, but they don't really change up the gameplay all that much. A lot of this stuff is stuff that drastically changes how you play. It adds a lot of variance, and because the game is if you think about it, stage 1, 2 is pretty similar to stage 1, 1. It's you fall down, you shoot, you reload. You're doing the same thing over and over again. So stuff like this that changes it is really, really interesting. Like if this just said get an extra ammo, that would be cool. But I don't think it would be as cool as something that completely changes, like shooting dead bodies causes them to explode. Like that's cool. And
then I imagine it's the combination of these things. So this time around, you get the exploding dead bodies plus the drone plus the rocket jump. You're like, how is that combination?
Right.
Versus next time you might do a different combination.
Now I got collecting gems recharges gun boots. So that'll be... So every time I get a gem... Well, I'm trying too hard to use it. I'm gonna die trying to do that.
Just do the drop down. What's that frog do?
So I mentioned two things earlier. One was the variant upgrades that are different, not just step bonus. But the other one is this progress bar. It may seem like it's very basic and palette unlocked. What is this? So are these not stale? What is palette unlocked? I don't know what I unlocked, but the progress bar feels good, and it feels like I'm not just doing the same thing over and over again. It feels like I'm working towards something. Even though I don't necessarily know what that is, it's not always important to know what that is. Sometimes just the act of like moving that progress bar forward or raising that number can be helpful, you know, or like make you want to go again. It makes you feel like you're making progress.
Can you do the sit there and do nothing test? Can you just find a spot where you're not obviously going to die? What happens if you just sit there? Is there any timer ticking down? Oh, this guy's going to slowly blob his way onto the screen. Okay, oh, his way around. It's an interesting test. They used to do this when I was working back in AAA studios, and the publisher would come in. I saw this happen a few times. The Activisions of the world, they'd come in and say, cool, I'm just going to put the controller down and see what happens. And I remember one time we were working on a racing game, and they wanted to have like for the younger audience, they wanted to have driver assist in there, so it helped you with the driving and helped you with the steering. And you could start the game, put the controller down, and come third place. That's not quite exactly the way driver assist is supposed to work, or maybe it is. Maybe that's what you want. Like everyone gets to be third place, even if they are completely useless. But it's an interesting test to do in your own game, because sometimes players do that. They just stop. Do you want them to be able to stop? Do you want them to be able to have a break? Do you want the game to perform properly if someone just sort of stops playing? Do you want the game to break? It's really interesting. Check it out in games that you guys are playing. The next time you play, just put the controller down and see what happens. Is there a little bit of animation go on? Does the game say, hey, you know, are you still there? What's happening? It's often something we don't even think about, because when you're playtesting your own game, you don't sort of do that. You just stop playing. You work on the code, you test it, and then you back to the code.
What I was going to mention too, which is exactly what you said, I think yours is just broader and covers more, is I notice that every time I start a level, I land on something, and it waits for me to start the game. I've played games before where it doesn't wait for you to start the game, and there's some games where you can continually die by not touching anything, and that is a horrible experience. I hate that personally. So like in my game Photophobia, I have enemies that will like chase you and follow you, but they all stay still until you make that first movement. That's what triggers them all. Coincidentally, that also makes it really good and consistent for speedruns too, for people that want to like get good at the game, because then they can, it's a strategy on when to start these different encounters and stuff. It makes it a lot more consistent.
Yep. Oh, you're zigzagging your bullets now.
Yeah, I got an upgrade. I don't remember what it was, but it's cool. That's all I need.
Yeah.
I feel so cool.
So far in this, what I'm learning out of this, watching this for the first time, I'm learning... Oh, okay. Hang on a sec. Hold the press. Some creepy, weird Jabba the Hutt type guy.
I can heal. I can get a battery, which is +1 charge. I assume that's one more ammo.
That might be one more bullet in your bullet button.
Yeah, and then I'm HP max 1. I'm gonna go with the battery. Yeah, I got 9.
Yeah, it does. That's cool. Now you got 9.
Well, I can purchase more than one thing, but I don't have enough ammo. I don't have enough money.
Curry and sushi. Don't shoot up my shop, man.
I can't steal his stuff, man. I want to steal his stuff.
I like as well. Anyone who's been watching these videos of ours, and thanks for watching and commenting, by the way. I'm a big fan of when the story's not forced. The player gets to feel the story and make their own story. So we weren't told that was your grandfather, Captain Winklebottom. He has a store halfway down the well. There's none of that sort of flavor to it, because it's not needed. This is an action game, it's fast-paced. And when you go in there, immediately I'm like, oh, that guy's all wrinkly. Maybe he's a Star Wars character. I get to make that story. I like that. Don't be so stressed in your game about telling the player who people are. Allow the player to make that up in their own mind. Just give them enough context. So there's a stereotype they can draw upon, or an archetype they can draw upon. Right.
And I feel like if this game would have started something like that and told you a story, there's the ancient well that you must go down to find the... I would have been like, okay, just... It doesn't match with this game. The fact that I can jump down a well and shoot stuff with my boots or my butt makes me very happy. And the fact that the reason this game hooked me is because it started so fast. right?
Yeah.
Like that's really important for me, and it just does that really, really well. And there's some details that don't matter, like where the guy is from or what how he got down in this well. I don't care about that. I just care that he has stuff to sell me. I like little details though, like where he gets angry if I go to try and jump on the stuff and steal it. That's pretty cool. But even that is something I made up, I don't know if he's getting angry that I'm trying to steal my stuff. That's just in my brain.
Yeah. Who are the blobs? I don't know. The blobs look like jellyfishes. Are you actually falling through the ocean? Yeah, you get to kind of intuitively feel these things.
Yeah.
It kind of, the guy, I don't know if you're familiar with a super old game called Lode Runner, where you build ladders and you run up and down ladders and you kind of, I don't even remember.
I've never, it sounds familiar.
Get stuff and do things. But he kind of looks like that character out of Lode Runner. I think, if memory serves.
Sucks in nearby gems, consumes some dead bodies to gain health. Getting gems causes a bullet to shoot up.
So if we go through our checklist, I think we can probably have a checklist in these videos because there seems to be themes we're pulling out. We've done half a dozen of these now, and one of the themes is an immediately different art style. Right. It doesn't have to be high definition. Like you look at this, it's two colors, white and red on top of black. And just lots of stuff going on, lots of things floating around. Looks really cool, but it's not super. I don't think you need to go to 7 years of an art academy to come up with this art. You just need to, have a decent eye for how things fit together. So, but it looks really good.
It's distinct. You can't confuse it with another game.
Exactly, and that's so important. It has to be distinct. And that makes it great art. That's the important thing. So that's one thing. The other thing is it's simple gameplay. You can figure it out relatively quickly. There were no instructions that I saw, that I remember. It didn't need tutorials. It's treating the player like the player has a brain and saying, it's called Downwell, so you're going to be going down into a well, and just try some stuff. Oh, I can move and I can shoot. Great. And you've been discovering it, and you've been enjoying that process of discovery. That's important for modern gamers. It's way
more fun that way, in my opinion. Way more fun.
And then have one core mechanic that's different or interesting, or your innovation. And here I think the jumping and shooting and the number of kind of rounds you have, or bullets that you have at your disposal that get recharged as soon as you land on something, that's great. That probably took a long time of prototyping and play around with it and try it, and does this work and does that work, to get to the point where, if as soon as you land on something your bullets recharge again, that feels great. So I think that discovery is what makes this game great. That one core mechanic, and the rest of it is just well-tuned, really fun gameplay. It's not crazy different. Upgrades, like you were saying, Tim, upgrades that allow you to have a different experience. They're not just a couple of extra points, but shooting left and right is a bit different, or exploding when you jump is a little bit different, which is cool. So it's good. It's ticking all those boxes for what makes for a good indie game.
I agree, and I love that everything is intuitive, because that's the thing that's going on behind the scenes that we're not calling attention to. Is every time I see something new, I automatically know how to interact with it, and I can guess what it does, and that takes a lot of work sometimes. The UX and UI stuff of like how to interact with the thing and how to make sure that the player knows, like, how did I know that was a shop? Well, prices came up and it had the icon for the thing, and I could go left and right, and like I have existing knowledge from previous games of how shops work and all that stuff. So that's an important point too, because if at any point I didn't know what a thing was or what I'm supposed to do with it, that could break immersion, and that could be a disconnect. That could be a quit point, right? So this game does everything that we talked about plus really good UI to the point where I know what everything is and I know how to interact with it properly.
Yeah, awesome. And I'm guessing this is all procedurally generated, the levels and the layouts and the guys who are trying to attack you.
I think so.
That is one of the recipes for a modern day indie game to be successful, to have the unique replayability and infinite gameplay. I guess this is what it is. Why is that so important? It means that folks like myself and Tim can play it, make a video about it, talk about it, and be like, hey, this is cool. My experience is a little bit different to the other people who are doing the same thing and playing it for fun. And because you do that, you get a lot more exposure, a lot more marketing. You get people playing it and talking about it and recording it, and making YouTube videos on it. If this was exactly the same for all of us, if level 1 was exactly the same for us as it is for someone else, then once you've watched one person do level 1, there's no joy in watching level 1. So that's really important from a replayability, but also a shareability and a marketing media pointability of your game.
I agree. I think it takes the focus away from the content and puts it on the systems, right? Like it lets you enjoy the mechanics of the game, not the level design. Whereas like, if you hand make levels, then you can put a little more effort into level design and make it good. But like this, because of the way this game is, because jumping and shooting feels so good, because of the core type mechanics, the procedural generation works extra well here, because the shine and the focus of the game is the mechanics. And so the mechanics can shine in the procedurally generated levels. Right, and I think that's a bonus on there. That's a +1.
Yeah,
I like it.
Can you do one last play just as we wrap up, just so we can see it on the
screen?
I
was gonna keep going, but
I know it's like an hour later. I'm like, I think we need to end the video, Tim. Poor old Tim. After we do these videos, Tim doesn't get any work done for the next 3 days. How's your game launch going? Shut up, I'm doing damn well.
Launching a game in 5 days, and we're sitting here making a video. But it's all good. I'm having fun. This is.
The last thing I want to talk about, because I'm going to try to talk about this each time we do these videos, because I think it's one of the hardest things to get right, is the consistency of experience. And for me, this often manifests in a game's title. We talked about that with Gunpoint, that the name didn't quite match what the game was about. This game, right from the start, what are you doing? Okay, you're flying down a tunnel. We'll say it's a well. And your goal is to get down. What should we call it? Let's call it Downwell. Like, I love it from that point of view. I love when the name tells me what I should do, or it tells me what my experience is going to be. Darkest dungeon. I'm in a dungeon, and it's all dark and moody. The art style is dark, but also the theme is dark. Awesome. Ape out. You're an ape, and you're trying to get out. I love it. It doesn't have to be quite so prescriptive. Like Downwell is saying go down the well. That's just one way to do it. But I love when games have a connection between their name. It really feels like the name tells me what I should. The entire tutorial is in the name, isn't it?
It really is. And I to add on to that too, I think there's 2 reasons why you want to do that. One is from the actual experience. It just makes everything consistent. And then 2 is from like the actual marketing. It makes sure that you attract the right people. I think like a name like Gunpoint, like we were talking about, might, if you like shoot 'em ups, if you like shooting stuff, you might be interested in that game because you're like, hey, it's Gunpoint, it's about guns. But then you get into it and it's not what you expect. And as a result, your audience was not matched to your product, and it can hurt your reviews. It can make people talk negatively about the game. And it's not the game's fault. It's just the mismatch. Right. Yeah. So I think that's super important. And this game does that really, really well. I unlocked Aqua.
So if you're not sure what we're talking about with Gunpoint and Ape Out, go check out those other videos that we've done, similar sort of style, seeing what makes it work. So awesome. This game, there's so much to learn from it. It's simple, but it's really awesome and powerful. Great example of an indie game. A lot that you guys can learn when you're working on your game design for your indie game. Any last thoughts, Tim?
This game takes everything away and only has the stuff that it needs to have. It doesn't have any fluff. It doesn't have any bloat. And I think that's what makes it work for me. It's super simple, super easy to pick up, and it doesn't. You can tell the designer didn't just add a bunch of stuff, right? He took everything away that wasn't absolutely necessary to make the core systems work. And I think that's my takeaway.
Wicked. Awesome. Well, thanks as always for joining us. If you have any thoughts on why you think this game is great, or that things that you've taken out of it, then share it with us. Let us know so we can learn from it. We can all learn from each other as our community. As always, if you're watching this on my channel, go check out Tim's channel.
If you're online, go watch Rick's. And if you have games that you want us to cover, you could leave a comment down below, and we might take a look at some of those as well.
Yeah, we'd love to. We'd love to get some ammunition. We seem to be reviewing old games that we that were popular a while ago that we didn't play. We were to check out why these are good, but we'd love to do some new games as well.
For sure. All right, everybody. Thank you. Bye, Rick.
Thank you. Catch you later.